Angie also does the traditional vault.
Angela Denton.
She'll perform a Cuervo and a layout Tsukahara. I'm not sure which one she's going to perform first.
Angie is from Willingboro, New Jersey.
It's a Cuervo vault. Oh.
Little trouble on the landing. Had a 9.75 in the preliminary. She had the third best score coming in.
You know, it's really unfortunate here because she gets really good height, but you'll notice she's lacking in rotation. This is a very difficult vault to rotate. It's too bad because she had great height and great distance. But you can see in this angle right here, she pushes off, does a half turn, and now she's going to pull a backflip. She is up there, but that's a lot of cranking to get all the way around, finish your rotation in time to land.
Now remember, Joyce Wilborn is in third place. She has a bronze right now. In order for Angie Dinkins, her country mate, to tie her, she would need a 9.9375.
And I don't believe she's going to get it. You can tell there, of course, the scores in the first vault will hold her down.
Bart, I think she was going for the stick as well. You could see how she opened up, trying to make that perfect landing.
You know, as a matter of fact, I don't think anybody left in the competition. There's only one other girl besides Angie, Gabriela Potorac from Romania, who has a shot at catching Joyce Wilborn. And as a matter of fact, I don't think even a perfect 10 would allow her to overtake Joyce Wilborn.
Angie's second vault will be a layout Tsukahara. She does this vault quite well. See if she can stick. Still a little low.
Second vault. Had a 9.425 on the first one. She's 17 years of age, has been on the national team for the past 2 years.
She actually did the vault quite well. But as she made the landing, the knees just bent way too far.
Now you can see here again, she is really up in the air. Nice form. Perfect body position right here. She's hollowed out, but she's got to meet that floor a little harder if she's going to actually stick the landing.
I mentioned she needed a 9.9375. She comes up with a 9.60 on her second vault. The average between the first vault, a 9.425, and a 9.60 is a 9.513. Not enough to move her into contention for a medal. So Dinkins now moves into sixth place, and we'll be back with more Goodwill Games coverage in just a moment. Stay with us. Ready in, and the United States finally comes away with a gymnastics medal. Joyce Wilborn from Paterson, New Jersey, winds up with a bronze, while Elena Shushanova, which is not much of a surprise, walks away with a gold medal. Her countrymate, Elena Shevchenko, comes away with a silver. Let's go back to our broadcast center and Bob Neal and Nick Charles.
And there are the standings, the final results in the women's gymnastics. Elena Shushanova, the Soviet Union, and Joyce Wilborn did win the bronze for the United States.
Of the individual event finals in women's gymnastics. We just saw the vault. We saw Angie Dinkins. Also in that particular vault event of the United States, she finished 7th, while Joyce Wilborn walked away with a bronze medal. It was the first medal the United States has earned in gymnastics competition here at the Goodwill Games. And now we're going to move our competition over to the uneven bars, where, Kathy, the level of difficulty has increased considerably over the last few years.
This event has really changed over the past few years. You'll notice that the bars are being put way out so that the girls can swing giant swings, major release moves like you see on men's high bar. It's become much more exciting.
So far, in the preliminary and team competition, the vault was the highest scoring event yet. The average score on the uneven bars coming in, with the competitors we'll see, there are 8 young ladies, 9.75. How would you rank that?
Well, it's a little bit harder in this event to get originality tenths, and that's why the scores are a little bit lower in this event. But we're going to see some really good routines here.
And, of course, Elena Shushanova in the team competition really nailed her exercise and scored the first perfect 10 of the complete gymnastics competition to that point.
And also, besides Elena Shushanova, there's a young lady named Vera Kolesnikova who came in with a 9, who's coming into the competition with a 9.8, as is a young lady from North Korea, Choi Millian, who also had a 9.8. So this competition is going to be a little tight.
Sure is. Kolesnikova is really the surprise in this competition. She's not at all the top gymnast that the Soviets have, but she was just on yesterday.
And I think as much of a surprise that Kolesnikova was so awesome in her performance was the surprise that Shushenova actually had 2 major errors. All week long, we have been really comparing her to Yuri Korleov from the Soviet Union's men's team, who is also probably one of the stronger performers. I don't think the best gymnast from the Soviet team, but he was so consistent. Whereas Shushenova, we expected her to be very consistent, had 2 major mistakes in the individual all-around competition and virtually handed the title to Vera Kolesnikova.
And it was ironic because Kolesnikova had to overcome a deficit of 0.6 in the all-around to win by 0.15, and she'll be the first young lady we'll be seeing here. We'll see her a couple times a day, in fact, and she's a joy to watch also.
Bart, it was just for that reason, her making those 2 mistakes, that I think Shushenova is really going to do well tonight. She has some added incentive.
You saw a couple of the women from the United States team. Well, I'll tell you, they do some real tricks here with cameras in the Soviet Union, don't they? You don't know whether the gymnast is right side up or upside down.
And it's kind of hard to tell anyways, even when there's really are.
So the warm-up continues for the uneven parallel bars.
And this is Gabriela Patorak. We saw her in yesterday's individual competition on the balance beam. And she's an exciting little performer. She does lots of difficulty, but I don't believe she has the polish that we've seen from some of our Soviet champions.
Well, she's still very young.
I'm going to talk a little bit about the building that we're coming to you from. We're live here. It's called the Indoor Stadium. This complex, the Olympic Sports Complex, built in 1980. And right across from where we're seated, there's a movable partition. It's a soundproof partition that separates us from the boxing venue. 2 events can take place at the same time right here. And they understand the width of the movable partition is 26 yards. So no wonder it's soundproof. There's the young lady we were speaking of earlier. There's the partition there with the Moscow 1986 sign.
I don't know if it's exactly soundproof because there's been some pretty exciting boxing going on, and we've heard some cheering bleeding through that big wall.
It certainly is. And in fact, the finals of the boxing is getting ready to start over there momentarily as we speak. It's part of 2 arenas that we're sitting in here, considered the most modern construction in the Soviet Union. And both halls have independent scoreboards. 16,000 can be seated in the arena in which we are in, the gymnastics arena, and 17,000 across the way for boxing. Meanwhile, the first competitor in the uneven parallel bars is about to mount the apparatus. This is Vera Kolesnikova.
Besides Shushenova, the top Soviet performers on this event really had problems in the team competition, and therefore Kolesnikova finds herself tied for second going into this, her weakest event. But it surely didn't look like a weak event for her yesterday.
Won the all-around. 9.8 was her preliminary score on the uneven bars.
Setting up. The reverse hecht, moving quite well. Now watch this next move. It's a reverse hecht. She catches in mixed grip, half turn, and drops right to the low bar. It's a 1.5 twist.
Oh, nice combination to the low bar.
She lost a little bit of form there on that twisting move. But other than that, she's working quite well. Double twisting flyaway.
Good performance. Vera Kolesnikova. 17 years of age. She hails from the town of Voronezh in the Soviet Union. She's 5'3". She visited Florida this past spring. Said she tried a little body surfing and really enjoyed it. Quite an athlete.
5'3", and she looks like a giant out there compared to the rest of the competitors.
She is tall.
Notice right here, she does a reverse hecht, sets herself up again when she kips to a handstand. Now she's going to do the same skill exactly, but as she regrasps the bar, notice she's going to cross her arms right there and do a half turn and regrasp.
She says that her teammates are her strongest competitors. And they are good ones.
There's that 1.5 twist. You can see a little leg separation, but it won't be a major deduction.
Didn't you do that move in competition, Kathy?
I sure did.
Oh, I don't think she did it half as well as
That
you
was
did.
a long time ago, Bart.
Kathy, you haven't been retired that long.
And a double twisting flyaway.
9.85, the score for Vera Kolesnikova on the uneven bars. So she's out in front now with a score of 19.650. Meanwhile, as we look at her right now, Vera Kolesnikova, we'll also see her again on the beam. She says her idol is teammate Natalia Yurchenko.